My name is Megan, and I'm going to be speaking on social media and support groups for cleft and craniofacial conditions. Um, First and foremost, let's go over some objectives for this presentation. What is social media and what are the different kinds? How does this intersection play into cleft and craniofacial conditions? What are support groups? I won't really go as much into that part because Dina did an excellent job already covering it. And future intersections, obviously we cannot predict the future, but just some predictions and some exciting things coming up. So social media, intersection, support groups, and future intersections. So the 5 different types of social media. First and foremost, there's social networking. Really conveys a person-to-person communication platform for people to tell stories about themselves and the world around them, their environment. Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn are all examples. Second is image-based sites, content like infographics, illustrations, personal images, and this is really beneficial for monetizable products and businesses. Examples are Instagram, Pinterest, and Snapchat. Third is video sharing and streaming platforms. How-to videos are really important here, humor, personal stories, and recent studies have shown this is how information is best received, which goes into the exponential rise of TikTok, this platform that has more than 2 billion users and is gone worldwide, and also the popularity of YouTube. Fourth is discussion forums. A lot of them are question-answer based, and Reddit, WebMD, which I'm sure all of you have heard of WebMD. A patient presents and they say, I have a headache, and it can either be dehydration or glioblastoma multiforme stage 4, and they're like, I have the latter, and they come to you. So I'm sure you all know WebMD. And then Cura, another question-answer site. Fifth, and the last one, is blogs, personal platforms to post about any topic you want. You can really show your expertise here and create a community where other people who are interested in similar topics can ask questions and respond. Examples include Tumblr and personally owned websites. So now, most importantly, the intersection between these kinds of platforms and medicine, more importantly, craniofacial conditions. So it's an integral method of communication that's on the rise for medicine everywhere. So patients can now schedule their own appointments virtually. They can log into their patient portals and increase office efficiency. They can also ask questions without the inconvenience of coming into the office. It can also be used to promote your practice. I'm sure many of you know of like the Instagram doctors who have, this person has 4.3 million followers, and they can promote their before and after videos, giving patients a little bit more autonomy in selecting their professionals, seeing the results that can be achieved. Share research and stream conferences and symposiums like the one we're streaming today. So more people from more places, more conversations, and that creates a better form of medicine with faster progress. So support groups, once again, Dina already did an excellent job covering this expansive topic. So as she already said, individual and family discussion-based support groups can provide both educational and emotional support. Networking opportunities are extremely important for finding jobs and increasing independence. You can reach out to other successful people like Dina with facial differences and get that like feeling of support and hope, and financial support additionally comes from a lot of these support groups, including care kits for newborns and how-to videos on how to use those care kits. And the progression with these support groups kind of start with the families as the child is born, and they turn to other parents that have children with similar craniofacial abnormalities, and then the child eventually turns to social media again to find people who look like them. So examples of established support groups: Next Gen Face, My Face, Adopt Cleft, Changing Faces, March of Dimes, and so much more. So cancel culture and bullying. So there's an article that says that pretty much encompasses a lot of the topics I wanted to talk about on this slide. It's called People Think We're Selfish, and it's about a couple who has a baby despite knowing the high risk of inheriting her father's Treacher-Collins syndrome. And one of the risks of being part of social media is that people have a lot of opinions, and this kind of makes you a little bit more vulnerable to those opinions and provides a platform for people to express them. So spam accounts, people have no consequences almost with these accounts. They're not traceable. They don't use your real name. They often have no followers, as you can see with this image in the top right. They have no followers, and it's not your real account, so you can post pretty hateful stuff without ever having any repercussions or it getting traced back to you. Some quotes from this family that they expressed during the interview were, "What are you doing with him? And you're a child abuser for knowingly having a child that will have many, many complications and surgeries throughout their lives." It's also increasingly complicated because it intersects with the pro-choice, pro-life movement, which is one of the hottest topics of our country and has been for the past 50 years. So some great things about social media, conversely, is it promotes charities, fundraisers, and symposiums like today. Many of you might have heard about this symposium from us reaching out on a social media platform. It cannot be understated the importance of spreading awareness and publicly promoting people who are doing so well and being so successful despite having craniofacial abnormalities. Raising money to support patients who otherwise could not afford surgeries, GoFundMe. I've known examples to have supported patients within hours, thousands and thousands of dollars within hours. It also connects surgeons to patients around the world. Specialists can travel to patients in remote locations and vice versa. Patients come from all the way around the world to see specialists. I know Dr. Bradley was just in Vietnam doing some surgeries there. And now for the future, which obviously I cannot predict, but digital immigrants versus digital natives, those are two terms that basically describe people who were born during the rise, after the rise of digital technologies, which is a digital native, versus a digital immigrant, which is someone who was born prior. And post-grad trainees currently were born during the rise of digital technology, and as those digital natives kind of grow into positions of more power within society, both in medicine and out of medicine, the intersection between technology and medicine and artificial intelligence and the metaverse and medicine will only increase exponentially. I think that the potential is almost endless. So Meta, appointments in the metaverse. I know that my friend works in Meta, and they're working on some avatars that can present like similar symptoms to the patient, and doctors could accurately diagnose a patient just with an avatar because the patient and the avatar would present in the same exact way. And then also, obviously, I have no idea, but in 2019, I actually thought I wanted to be a data scientist, which I did not end up doing, but I was in Silicon Valley for a summer internship with an educational startup called Chegg, and coding backend and working on machine learning software. And weekly or bi-weekly, we would have these Chegg chats with really important, influential people in Silicon Valley coming to talk to us. And Sam Altman, who's the CEO of OpenAI, the leading artificial intelligence company in the world, and he's arguably the leading artificial intelligence expert also in the world, he came and he talked to us, and he said basically 10 to 15 years from then, the world will either be in a utopia or a dystopia. So obviously that seems extreme, but we can't disregard the experts' statements. But I say we hold back on jumping to those conclusions. And on a lighter note, cool new slang words to use on social media in your office to impress your kids and Gen Z patients. And this is going to be our last slide. I thought I'd end it pretty on a high note comparatively to the one before. So Riz is short for charisma. Anything that's exceptionally done has Riz. So I would say this symposium has some serious Riz. Slay. Slay is something that's visually appealing or has been completed to a high standard. I would say some of the results from Dr. Thorne's total ear reconstruction, slayed. Pop off is to explain something that was difficult to do but was done impressively. Dr. Bornstein came in between a very busy day of patients, rushed all the way here, and got back in time to see his patients. Pop off, Dr. Bornstein. And girl boss, someone who can do it all and make it look easy. So our patients who go through so many different both emotionally and physically taxing procedures and still come out with huge smiles on their faces are such girl boss energy. So that's a girl boss right there. Look at her, hands on hips. Any questions? Thank you, Dr. Thorne.